This side. Strength.
We have 43 in favor. All those opposed, please raise your hand and please keep them high. Motion carries. The final tally is 43 to 8. Before we move, we're going to move now. I believe that closes the bylaws piece, and we're going to move. Thank you for your time and attention, and I hope improvement of the final product. And I'm going to introduce Lola. We're going to move to the grants announcements, and we have two people making presentations: Lola Carlisle and Nicole Forstler-Horn.
Treasurer Lynn here also. Before I forget, I did want to say, should have said it earlier, but in the back there has been a monitor rolling with basically committee accomplishments throughout the year. It'll be online later. It's a really nice document that summarizes all the great work done this year, as well as sign-up sheets if you want to participate via a part of a committee. We'd love to have you. So please just take a minute. There's some printouts too if you just want to snag something. But there's been a lot of work done this year. Great job, everybody, and I hope you'll enjoy that PowerPoint once Brian puts it up. Okay. So basically, we're going to start with grants. The first one we have is basically Atlanta Bicycle Coalition, which is the Atlanta Streets Alive event. But Matt Garbett was here, and he did leave. He had to leave. So we'll get that to him. I've got his email address. I don't know if you all were able to participate in the Streets Alive event that was here. It was very... The next grant is to Grady High School. And is there anyone here for that, to accept that? Earl Cooper, great, thank you.
Lola, what is the size of the grant?
I think I have that listed here. $1,500 to Grady High School. Next is Springdale Elementary School, and who is accepting that? Now they're fine. Thank you, that's what I thought. $1,500 to Springdale Elementary. And Trees Atlanta, I believe we have, is Susan Pierce here? Great, thank you. We have a $2,000 donation to Trees Atlanta. Thank you, Susan. Okay, and then 1,000. I saw education and I was confused. So there's another check for 1,000 for the education program from Trees Atlanta.
That's wonderful. Thank
you.
you.
And then we have the Church of Our Savior. I don't know if Reverend Bolton is here. Great, thank you. Good to see you. They are often we have our meetings there, and they're very gracious, and we really appreciate it.
Say very briefly that it's a great joy for us to be able to be a host to the association from time to time. We have 2 meetings coming up in the near future, in fact, in our parish hall. Traditionally, the reason that churches enjoy tax-exempt status for their property is that at a very early time in the history of this country, churches were used as community centers. And this was one of the reasons why they didn't have to pay tax on their property. So it is for us to give you the opportunity to use our property in this way that gives us a reason for remaining tax exempt. I'm not sure if we didn't, that would be taken away, but I'm glad that we do. And the other thing that I want to say is that we're very happy to be able to provide an after-school program for children from Spark, from Morningside, from Mary Lynn. And what I propose to do with this is to give it to our after-school program scholarship funding. So thank you very much.
Our next grant is to fight back against crime, and it is for the magnetic lights and car signs. We're excited to give $700, and Brian Gross, I think, will be accepting that. Next is the NPU and Hillside Cottages, which is where we have many meetings and all the NPU meetings. And I don't think Jane Rollins is here to accept it, but we'll be sure she gets that. And it's for $500, and we're there often, so we appreciate them. And then we have PEDS, Sally Flocks. Is she here? We're giving $500 to PEDS, and we'll make sure she gets that. And the next one is the Fulton County Libraries. Megan, yes, Madison. The library is kind of our second home, it's our first home really for the Civic Association meetings, and we've always appreciated you all. And we're giving $2,800 to the Ponce Leon Ranch. Thank you, Andy. And then we also have, Jack, do you want to speak about this one is the in memory of Mike Malou to the fund for them?
The board has made a contribution to the family of Mike Malou, the store owner in our community for the last 4 years, who was killed in an apparent robbery. Mike was a naturalized U.S. citizen. He was known to a lot of folks in this community, and he left behind a wife and 3 small children, and we're really happy to be able to be part of the effort of helping them on that.
Is there anyone here to accept this? I know we reached out, but I'm not sure if we've heard back yet. But so we're giving $1,000 to that. We also have Nicole, if you can do the other 3 grants.
You got it. You did it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was working off of a different list. You're right. Thank you. I took your part.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Oh, Jack, do you want to mention what we're going to do about the fire department then?
One of our grantee applicants and one we've supported in the past has been the restoration of Fire Station 19. And we didn't give directly this year, but the board did vote to continue their support for the effort. And in fact, we're going to meet with the Atlanta Fire Foundation board of directors member Amir Faroki, who many of us know from the campaign, who's on their board, and we're going to try to see if we can find some way to support them in a little more comprehensive fashion instead of the small amounts we've been given. They have a long road in front of them, and we're all interested in trying to save at least the facade of that historic station, and that's what we're interested in doing. And we're going to be working on that in a systematic way, hoping we can organize a somewhat bigger response than even what they asked for this year. I think that concludes that part of our new business. Is there any new business, that part of our agenda, is there any new business to come before us? I'm going to announce the winners of the election. The board members for 2012-13. I haven't walked off and left it over here. Oh, here it is, sorry. The formal board members are John Becker, Peggy Berg, Lola Carlisle, Arturo Cruz, Jenny Ferraro, Laura Wilkes Spraylick, Nicole Forslor Horn, Jennifer Keenan, Pamela Pantner, Jack White. The alternate is David Ryan, and with 11 names on the ballot. I really appreciate every one of those. As we've seen, there's functionally no difference there in any of those roles. I cannot tell you. I'm going to conclude the meeting if there's no other new business. Mr. Dworet, I have one other set of remarks. Mr. Dworet?
No, I just want to make a motion.
Sir, Mr. Dworet.
The votes haven't been counted, and the
there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? If you will attend to that, sir, I would appreciate it. We have some thanks to give to a number of people who helped us tonight. I'm going to start with our friends in San Francisco Coffee who have come and gone. But we very much appreciated their presence, and they have been a supporter of this association officially and unofficially in many, many ways through the years and this year. And Carrie, if we'll try to all make sure they know particularly how much we appreciated their being here tonight. Jenna Mobley did our photography, and she's still here. She might have taken her kid and gone home, and good for her. But we appreciate her being here. We appreciate 12, the new flower store at the corner, for donating so many of the flowers and the arrangement for Miss Turgeon and the choir. I appreciate Mr. Paul Pate, who was the narrator, the extremely professional narrator that you heard that several people asked me if he is a professional narrator. Indeed he is, and he, needless to say, donated his services, and we were very, very grateful and appreciative. I thought he did a great job. And I'm going to thank, I want to thank everybody that helped work on this tonight, because it was an astonishing amount of work. I discovered, to our dismay. And I want to just thank the board. This year's board, I thought it was an extraordinarily productive year. I really look forward to serving with the next board, and we are based upon people coming forward and both taking responsibility, volunteering, and not being afraid to tell us when they don't think we're doing right. And so I trust that all those rich conditions will continue in full flower in the coming year. And I want to just thank my fellow board members. Before I hand it to Frazier, I want to thank, because I can't thank them enough, Carrie Hobson-Pape and Lola Carlisle for pulling this off. I was appalled and amazed at how much work it was, and I thank you so very, very much.
Sort of got glossed over, but I think we should recognize the committee that put this, sort of an ad hoc committee that worked hard at putting the whole concept together and bringing all of this together. So Jack, Lola, Carrie, and the other members of your committee, who I don't know off the top of my head, but I think we owe them another round of applause.
Well, we are going to go, but the real challenge here is that people don't want to be recognized in spite of all they do. So I'm going to recognize Judy Potter, who's sitting in the back, and insisted that we not recognize her, but we're recognizing you anyway, Judy. Thank you. Business to come before us tonight, I want to remind everybody the next 2 monthly meetings will be hosted by Father Bolton and the Church of Our Savior. They fall on holidays on which the library is closed. So they will be the October and November meeting will be on the second Monday at 7 o'clock at the Church of Our Savior. Thank you all very much for coming, and I'll see you in the hood.